St. Joseph is an old town rich in history, and with such history comes many mysteries. With the town seeing 170-plus years of life, death, tragedy, and celebration, and quite a few buildings just as ancient still standing, is it possible the souls of many earlier inhabitants still remain? There are plenty of buildings people believe to be haunted in St. Joseph, and the Beattie Mansion is one of the most well-known to those who actively research and investigate the paranormal. With a traditional brick facade and a spread-out porch, the Beattie Mansion looks like every other southern residence. But this behemoth, constructed in 1854, is truly not normal. Locals call the Beattie Mansion the house on the hill. It stayed eerily silent for centuries. Locals will tell you that the non-human inhabitants of the mansion have revealed themselves clearly only in the last 15 years. Workers and travelers who have been to the mansion have witnessed opaque, shadowy figures loitering the halls and heard distressing voices from empty corners. This eerie vibe, mixed with the multiple phantoms present here, frightens even the bravest of visitors. The Beattie Mansion was built in 1854 for Armstrong and Eliza Beattie on the original Main Street. Armstrong became a very prominent banker in St. Joseph before being elected as mayor 5 separate times. Due to his active role in the community and position, a lot of events were held at the mansion. Armstrong had been diagnosed with cholera multiple times throughout his life, but a sudden bout proved to be fatal in 1878. Within days, Armstrong Beattie passed away in his home. He left his wife Eliza with the house but dedicated his funds elsewhere. Eliza herself would follow in death just 2 years later. In 1882, the Ladies' Union Benevolence Association purchased the mansion, and it became the home for the friendless. It was a home for unwed mothers, women who had worked in St. Joseph brothels and had become pregnant, and the homeless. This was when the west side of the house was built to meet the numerical demands of people coming in. The addition was made to mirror the original half. Around this time, they also began to take in orphans, which leads many to believe a good amount of the spirits in the mansion are children. In 1905, the mansion became the memorial home for the aged, an assisted living facility, which was known to be very lively and happy. The home stayed that way for around 100 years. For roughly a year and a half before the current owner bought the property, it had also been a facility that housed the mentally ill and substance abuse addicts. Over the years, it has been a memorial home, a halfway house, a group home, as well as a fraternity house, says Marianne Podrasky, the historian general manager, lead investigator, and psychic medium for the Beattie Mansion. I first became besotted with the mansion when I was just a child, she explains, saying she's been a believer since she was 4. I distinctly remember passing by the building and wondered what it was for, as I saw dozens of people all around the building and on the balconies. At the time, I didn't know what paranormal was, but I knew the people I saw outside the building weren't alive, as they had fuzzy edges. I knew the building was very old, and I knew it had a big story to tell. I always told my husband the house was calling me, and I knew I had a role to play here, Podrasky says. I communicated with the custodian, Carl, the moment I pulled into the lot in 2018. My first investigation was in 2019, and I was contacted by the spirits inside immediately. My interest is foremost the spirits and their welfare, as well as uncovering the true history of the mansion and her residents. I have had hundreds of paranormal experiences in the mansion, she goes on. I've been shown by Carl what needs to be fixed, been directly vocally answered when I ask a question. I've been hugged and have been choked and growled at in my face by a former patient. In addition, I saw a former patient of the halfway house, a young female drug addict, hang herself from the staircase. I've heard whistling and footsteps many times, most recently on October 17, 2023. Many people have witnessed these events alongside me as well. Michael Burkhardt, the current owner of the Beattie Mansion, bought the home in 2004. He had intentions of turning it into a boutique hotel, but that didn't go according to plan. I would have people working there and they would last a week or maybe 2 weeks, he said. Then they wouldn't show up. It didn't matter how much I paid them, they wouldn't come anymore. The workmen experienced disembodied voices, shadow figures, and full-body apparitions. Burkhardt himself claimed to be a skeptic of the paranormal until he stayed in the mansion by himself for a full week. He decided to embrace the mansion's paranormal nature and open it up for people to come to experience the spirits inside. Since then, investigators have been allowed to enter the mansion and found that a number of spirits seem to dwell within. Likely the most spoken of and prominent spirit within the house is that of Eliza Beattie. Many people claim to have sighted her on the second floor, and it's not uncommon to hear her footsteps down the hallway, or even her singing. Another spirit who is often seen on the second floor is that of young, 4-year-old Mabel. So much so, that she has even been given her own bedroom upstairs. Mabel is historically documented as having passed away in the home, yet it is also thought other children also cling to the building's haunted walls. Some have also claimed to encounter a grumpy man in the basement who is believed to be the home's former caretaker. He isn't described as malevolent or aggressive, yet can question why visitors enter his space. Plenty more activity has been documented within the Beattie Mansion. Some have heard strange noises, voices, seen objects move on their own, witnessed or heard doors slamming, and even sighted apparitions. Other interesting stories of sighting shadow figures making their way across the ceiling and in the corners of rooms have also come out of the property. The Beattie Mansion is an interesting piece of Missouri history, and the legends of this place are sure to stick around for some time. Overnight visits to the mansion can be organized online. Some bedding and heating within the building are provided, yet majority of the building contains no heating or cooling. So if you decide you are brave enough to go check out this property, don't forget to charge all your equipment, bring extra batteries, your favorite blankets, and a lot of courage. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our videos. Until next time, stay safe.